in thinking of the title after I wrote the poem, I just called it, for now anyway, I might keep it that way, The Passing of the Years. The Passing of the Years. We're going to be here under the sun for just a while, and we're going to need God's help. We're going to need His strength. We're going to need His wisdom. And if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. Okay? And so it's called The Passing of the Years, and it goes like this. And I'm going to try to say the verses in a way that they balance here. When I was a babe and began to grow, time for me moved very slow. Then as a toddler it sped up some, but the end of the day was still slow to come. But do you remember those years, you may ask? For how could you know these things? I take you to task. I answer, the following years would reveal that this pattern is so, as the seeming speed of time did begin to show. As a young scholar, time increased its speed, as the books were opened with much to read. Time's pace increased yet more when I was a teen, in those anxious years when I was still green. That teen was soon to become a young man then, and the following years quickly mounted as they came again and again. Now an older man has replaced that younger model indeed. Now time is moving at breakneck speed. Soon time for me shall be no more. Jesus paid the price of admission for me. Soon I'll be entering heaven's door. And we need to think that way. We need to think that way. By the way, let me say something about the word scholar. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of people say, well, I'm not a scholar. Let me ask you a question. Are you a student? Then you're a scholar. You're all scholars. Are you a Bible student? Then you're a Bible scholar. Somebody say, well, I'm not a Bible scholar. Then, well, you ought to be. Because the scholar is a schooler. See, we're all still being schooled. And that's what the word scholar means. It actually means a student. And so we're all supposed to be students of the Word of God. And so that's why when I used that word earlier, as a young scholar, time increased its speed. As the books were opened with much to read. You go to school and you have deadlines and you're having to read books and stuff. And so time goes by a little bit faster than when you were a toddler. And then I asked that question to where it said, but do you remember those years, you may ask? For how could you know these things? I take you to task. I answer, the following years would reveal that this pattern is so. See, as the time goes on, we see that that's a pattern. So how do I know that time didn't go quite as fast for me when I was a little baby? Because the pattern works that way for the rest of our lives. And so I wrote that today and thought I'd explain it a little bit too, because it helps to understand what you're hearing.